Welcome back, dear students. So in our today's video we are going to start chapter from a lesson data handling, which is nothing but statistics. So let's see its introduction part. So what is mean by the statistics? So dear students, it is the study of the collection of analysis, interpretation, presentation and organization of the data. We know that a collection of numerical facts about the objects or any event, we call it a data. And this branch of the science statistics is deal with this only, that is collection, organization and analyzing the sets of data. And why to do these things? Just in order to reveal information which is useful for us. So we want a useful information, that's why we use this branch of mathematics. So dear students, using statistics, predictions about the nature of data can be made. And it is very helpful when a large amount of data is to be studied and observed. Generally, we use this statistical data which is collected and we can represent it in the form of tables, bar graphs, pie charts, histogram and frequency polygons. So let's see its some important terms. The first term is data. So what is data? Data means information which is in the form of numerical figures or a set. A data can be any kind of numerical fact. And it can be qualitative data or it can be quantitative. For example, if a one class there are 10 children and they have given a monthly test and their scores are there or their test marks are there, so that is countable and you can say that data is a quantitative data. Or you have another term for that, that is a discrete data. So discrete data is generally a whole number which can be counted like a test mark, run scored, words, books. So the data which is counted you can call as a discrete data. And friends, we also have the data which are obtained from the measurement. So such measurement data like age, weight and height, we call them as a continuous data. And sometimes we have the collection of books like a red, green, blue, which generally represent a qualitative data. Means here we are not going to measure anything with the numerical result. Next is about the raw data, or you can call it as a ungrouped data. So the data obtained in the original form which is not processed yet, we call it as a raw data. And generally the raw data is the data which we have collected as it is. We have not performed any kind of operation on that data. Next is group data. So for the sake of our study, our comparisons, our processing, we condense the raw data into the number of classes. We make them arrange into the group. Such a presentation is known as a grouped data. Next we are having about array. So what is array? So array is what when you arrange the data in a numerical data in the form of ascending order or in descending order. So that arrangement is called as array. For example, here you can see the array is the arrangement of a data in ascending or descending order. Like here 1, 3, these all data, it is written as what? In a ascending order. Next we are having a tabulation or a presentation of data. So arranging the data which is in the form of tables are called as a tabulation. So in a table you have a rows and columns and the data is arranged according to the column name, and the row wise we are going to arrange them. And dear students, we have another term, observation. Observation is a term used for all the numerical figure, like each numerical observation or a figure numerical, it is called as a observation. Like a children marks are there, so each mark of each child is called as a observation here. The next term is frequency. So what is frequency? Frequency is just nothing but the number of time the particular observation occurs. Like many children having the marks more above than 50 out of 20 marks. So if you have 16 marks repeated 4 times, so 16 mark repeated 4 times, the 4 here become its frequency. So the number of time the particular observation occur, it is called as its frequency. Frequency distribution table is there. When we are going to arrange the data according to its frequency in a one table format, that we call it as a frequency distribution table. So in a frequency distribution table, we are having a score, tally marks, and then frequency. So such a table, frequency distribution table, gives a convenient way to determine the frequency of each measurement, or you can say each observation. Like you can say that here, suppose the runs scored by the 11 players of Indian cricket team in a match are given as like this. So this type of data is just raw data. And you can see here, if I want to find out the difference between the highest, you can see here is the highest is 67 score and the lowest is 0. So if you find out the difference between the highest observation and the lowest observation, you call it as a range. So range will give you the difference between the greatest and the least value of the observation. Next we are having a tally marks. So tally marks are used to represent and count data. In tally marks, one vertical line is there which is made for every count, and afterwards when you are having the 4 numbers, then for the 5th number you will choose a diagonal one. Okay, so the table here shows one line for 1, 2 for 2, 3 for 3, and for the 5th one we are having the diagonal line. So now we have frequency distribution of grouped data. So dear students, when the data is extended over a wide range of tables, it becomes very lengthy and it is unwide data, and generally handling those data is a hectic one. So in such cases, statisticians, what they have done, they've arranged them into the useful form, you can say in terms of groups and classes. So for example, you can see given here the marks obtained by 20 students, which is conducted a test of a 25 marks. So 20 children have given that test and their marks are arranged here. Now the presentation of these data can be expressed into the groups. So what I have done, we have made here class intervals. So marks are arranged like this: 0 to 10, 10 to 20, and 20 to 30. And in front of that we have a column number of students, which will give the frequency. We can classify these marks into groups or classes as like this. First of all, you can see that this presentation is done based on the above data into the number of groups, and the groups, these groups you can call as a classes, which are here 0 to 10, 10 to 20, 20 to 30. So here what I am going to do, I am going to place these classes and in front of them I am going to put a number of students, and each class interval is bounded by the class limit. For example, if I am writing 0 to 10, so 0 is lower limit, 10 is upper limit. If I am saying 10 to 20 range, then 10 is lower limit, 20 is upper limit. So it is what class limit. This is interval 10 to 20 and it is having two figures 10 to 20. The lower value of the class interval is called lower limit and the upper value of the class interval is called upper limit. and we can see in between 0 to 10 class no students are there. 10 to 20 we have 11 children, and 20 to 30 marks class interval we have 9 children. Now if you see what is the main difference there, suppose if I am telling 10 to 20, what does it mean? If I am saying 10 to 20, it will take the values from 10 but less than 20. It will not include 20, it will leave the 20, it will leave this upper limit. So it is what? Exclusive form. Exclusive means we are excluding, we are leaving the upper limit, means we are not going to take 20 marks in the range of 10 to 20. If I am saying 20 to 30, it means I am going to take from 20 but less than 30. So in exclusive form of data, the data is represented in the exclusive form, means if I am saying 10 to 20, the values will come from the range of 10 but less than 20. If I am saying 20 to 30, means the values come from 20 onwards but less than 30. So means upper limit, highest limit we are not going to include. It is exclusive. Next we are having data in the inclusive form. Inclusive, the word is come from the include. So here is again one more example. Marks obtained by the 20 students of a class 8th in a maths, and their marks are like this. Here we have arranged the data into the different groups. You can say the class interval I have kept 0 to 10, 11 to 20 and 21 to 30. So here if I am saying 0 to 10, so it means it will include 0 also and the 10 marks also, means I will include lower limit as well as upper limit. So I am saying 0 to 10 means it includes 0 value also and the 10 value also. Then 11 to 20, it will include 11 also and 20 also. So here lower limit and upper limit both are going to included by these classes. But when I am saying it is 0 to 10 and 10 to 20, so in this case 10 will come in this class, not in the first one. Okay. Next we are having again 3 terms. First is class mark. So class mark will give the middle value of each class interval. For example, if I am having 10 to 20 as a class interval, so I will take out the class interval as a mid value. I have to take 10 plus 20 divided by 2. It will come 30 by 2, which is nothing but the 15. So 15 is a mid value of this class interval. So here class mark is nothing but the middle value of this class, which is obtained by adding lower limit plus upper limit divided by 2. Next is class size. Class size is nothing but the upper limit and lower limit difference. For example, if I am having a class interval like 0 to 5, it means 0 to 5 means I have to take a subtraction of 5 minus 0, means total 5. 5 is the what? It is going to be the difference between the upper limit and lower limit. It gives the size or width of the class interval. Next is class frequency. So class frequency is nothing but the frequency of class interval. Like for example, here you can see in 0 to 10 we are having 6 students. So 6 is its class frequency. And in 11 to 20 there are 9 children. So 9 is its class frequency. So class mark gives middle value of the class interval. Class size gives the number of children in that, which is nothing but the difference. So children, this is nothing but the just introduction part about the data handling. Hope you have understood it. Thank you.